Hi everyone! Hello Sagittarius! How is your April going so far? Thanks for joining me for your April reading. So I hope you guys have been well. I hope that last month was okay as well for you. You've been quiet. A lot of you guys have been very, very quiet. I think maybe this is one reason why your reading is one of the last this month. If you've been waiting on it for a while, I apologize, but I'm here now, and so I will not keep you waiting for too much longer, and I'll just get to shuffling your cards, which seem to want to come out anyway, you guys, because before I even... Wow, okay. Wow, lots of cards just want to come out. Before I even got the chance to center myself, I came with the intention of recording this reading for Sagittarius. So that's usually how my sessions start, when I come with that intention and I have that sign in mind. But sometimes I don't even have to put so much effort into meditating and really centering myself. Simply what happened was I took the cards out of their box today, and without doing anything, the Temperance card, like I was just lifting the cards out of the box, right? And I split the cards in half accidentally without wanting to do so, and the Temperance card just stared me in the face. And Temperance is basically your card in the tarot, you guys. So I love when that happens. When that happens, don't you? Anyway, I just want one more card for Saggy. Otherwise, it seems like you guys are in a hurry to get something done. Oh, no. Too many cards there. It seems that you guys are in a hurry to get something done. Yikes. Alright. Okay. So, earlier on, what was channeled to me anyway when I was meditating was the fact that there is some form of indecision here. And the only card that affirms this to me, that confirms this to me, is the last card that popped out here, this Four of Cups in the reverse. That's the only card that confirms that channeled message that I get, that there is indecision happening in your life. I can make an educated guess right now, also with the aid of the cards, that we're talking about work here. We're talking about matters related to work, hard work, that is intrinsically tied up to your family situation too. And how it can be tied up for you in family-wise is that you rely on your job, or more than one job, let's say, or your business, as a form of income every month. Like, it might be your only form of income, and this is the case anyway for most people, right? So it's not like I'm even really saying anything that's all that new. This is well-known knowledge, but what I mean to say is that it could be particularly distressing for you this month in April, because perhaps a few of you are facing a renewal of a contract, or will be facing this, and are afraid that you won't necessarily pass the evaluation and you might lose your job. Others of you may have heard this directly being said to you. Others of you may have received this message or eavesdropped into another conversation that suggested this. So you're very, very hard at work right now to ensure that if all eyes are on you, and I'm not saying that they are, but if eyes are on you, that your bosses and your supervisors will see that you're doing what you can to succeed, that you're putting the most effort into it. And on the other hand, for a few of you, this is really not the case at all. We're not talking about job insecurity, and we're not talking about family insecurities either. We're simply talking about your desire perhaps to expand your business, but an inability to really grasp which area of your business requires the most amount of attention from you, or which area of your business deserves to see a renewal happen in. So you could be doing well on the sales front, but perhaps not so much in the business development front, where you probably feel you're reaching an impasse, that your product is reaching an expiration date, so to speak, right? I'm not saying that it is. I'm simply saying that if there are any concerns, those concerns can come up in that way. Like, how can I improve my product? How can I improve my service? Or how can I improve myself as an employee working for a company? How can I make sure that I always remain a valuable asset to these guys? A valuable member of the team, one that cannot be forsaken. And so you're very headstrong at this time and really just going for it, just putting your heart into it, even if you are lacking in this energy, which you may be actually lacking in. So there is tension, there is some tension here, and people are going to catch on to the fact that you're stressed out, Sagittarius, that you can be rather confrontational during this time as well, because it's a little bit difficult to get things together the way that you want. So you want to have ultimate control of your time, but because you're not feeling as up to it on a physical level, you might just be feeling exhausted and drained. You want to sleep more, or you want to find the time to do something that will help you relax. But on the other hand, you're pressing yourself to put in more in a short amount of time, and so this could take a toll on you here. And the odds of getting into a fight with someone or a group of people increases the more you stress yourself out. So my word of advice for you is to try to attend to your health this month. In terms of this indecision here, may I suggest that if we are talking about starting up something new, that you put this off for a while, because it's not the right time now to invest in a new idea. But it is a very good time to review older ideas and to find ways of improving upon them, which is why it's okay if you're thinking of ways to become a better employee or ways to expand your business, right? But only expand parts of your businesses that have already been established. So I'm not talking about coming up with a foreign new concept that doesn't already have solid footing in what you do. So I would put this, that's probably why this card is in reverse, right? This card could be in the reverse because it's not the right time now to launch anything new. And you yourself are probably uncertain about how much you even want it. So if you find yourself flip-flopping between yes and no, like yes, this could work, no, it's not going to work, yes, I want it, then the next day you're like, no, I'm not sure I really do want it. Is this good for my customers? Yeah, I think so. Next day, a group of customers comes up to you and says, I don't think that's a good idea. And then you're like, oh, maybe I need to think about this more. That's exactly the kind of problems that you can face this month. since a lot of key planets are retrograde, and actually Saturn, right? Saturn in Sagittarius is retrograde, and this can shake things up for you. It can shake up your structural foundations. It can really challenge you to improve the way that you present yourself as well. But money is good. Dare I say that money is okay with you guys. And if you're thinking that it's not, and if you think like you need to work harder for this, that's always great. It's good to be ambitious, but in general, there is no lack here. There's no sense of lack. There's a sense of urgency, though, and I don't think that's necessary, actually, Sagittarius. There's no need to be urgent about anything, unless you really feel like you are at a risk of losing your job. Okay, then for the group of Sagittarians that resonate to that, then I understand where the sense of urgency is coming from. You have a family that rely on you, and you need to be able to pay the rent, pay your children's school fees, pay your own personal fees. I understand then where the sense of urgency comes from. However, I don't see it doing you any good to stress out over the fact, because it might end up backfiring. It might end up really backfiring, where you end up getting sloppy at work. You mentally exhaust yourself, and you say the wrong things at the wrong time in front of the wrong people, and this is where things can get heated and rather confrontational. This is where you might run into some serious problems with co-workers, colleagues, and in turn it will backfire, because this is exactly what you're trying to avoid. You don't want to draw too much attention to yourself. You want to draw attention to your good work, to what makes you a very skillful person on a day-to-day basis. But you want to make sure that you don't come off as over-eager and then start to impose yourself onto a hierarchical structure. I can't think of any other way of saying it, but you don't want to impose your beliefs, values to anyone who's at a higher position than you. So let's say you are a subordinate of sorts, with respect to certain management, but you have this fantastic idea that you want to pitch. At this time, if you don't think twice about what it is that you want to say, it might come out the wrong way. It might be taken in a form that is going to be unappreciated, and that's ultimately not your goal. But we are at risk, especially during Mercury retrograde, to act too fast on our impulses and to say things without discretion. So I would urge you to just try to be as discreet as you possibly can this month. Don't draw too much attention to yourself. Put off any major decisions that you have until mid-May, when things are going to be in the clear, and you will find that this Four of Cups flips, turns itself upright again, which means that you find yourself in a better position to make the right choice between things, between jobs, whatever it is, between projects, even emotional situations, because some of you might not be working, and this is just a general reading, right? So some of you might not be working, and some of you may be just more concerned about how it is that you're dealing with earth signs. Yeah. and you might be trying out different strategies, okay, to get their attention, and it's just not working because they are too consumed in their own work right now. For those of, okay, so let me try to clarify that. For the Sagittarians who are not working right now, you might be trying to gain the attention of earth signs who have a lot of work on their plates, and you might be using your fiery energy or even a sword-like element to get their attention, and this is only going to cause complications. So when I say you're going to try to use your fire-like element, I mean that this card here of strife is very native to you. It's not something that's uncommon. Sagittarians like to have a brawl every now and then. There's nothing wrong with that, actually. It gets quite exciting and it keeps things interesting. And if that doesn't work, then you really go headstrong into the situation, and this will irritate an earth sign. It really will. Even other air signs don't like this attitude here, which is just having absolutely no regards for another person's feelings whatsoever here. It's very ambitious of someone to do this because they have a goal and they have a direction. The problem is that they're not very careful when it comes to the process. They just see the end goal, but they don't see the process. And you need to refine and fine-tune the way that you do things at this time so that you ensure that you end up successful with whatever it is that you need to do. Work, solve a relationship, get your taxes in order. It's tax season in the States, I hear. So, yeah, I'd just be very careful. Yeah, okay. Oop. So, let me put these in my hula hoop, which I am obsessed with. And let's start pulling out cards from Deviant Moon that will clarify these 5 cards here. So some of you are, okay, I have to say it, those of you who are at odds of losing, ooh, look at that, Jesus, who are at odds of losing their job, you're keeping this private. It's on the down low. You're not really sharing it with key members of your family. And instead you're just, yeah. You've got your head in your work right now, just trying to solve it and just hoping to dear God that nothing bad happens and that this is just paranoia. And I say this all because the judgment has come up here on top of the 10 of Pentacles. So in order to avoid potential judgment that might come your way, you're trying to deal with it yourself. You're trying to handle the situation behind the scenes, yeah, without drawing attention, right? But you might end up drawing attention, so let's be careful, again, with how we act. The Tower card has come up in the reverse here, and so let me backtrack to what I said earlier about how your structural foundations might be challenging at this time. So certain events are happening that might shake up things that you've known to be a part of your life for a very long time now. We're talking like things based in the home, things based in the workplace if you've been working at the same place for a very long time, things based in your own city, country. Major structural changes may be in the works and in the pipeline without you even knowing this, right? And things like that right now are halted though as a result of Saturn being retrograde and in your sign nonetheless, right? So that's why this Tower card is reversed here, which means that when it comes to making major decisions that involve huge movement, it is not advisable at this time. I usually interpret the Tower card in the reverse as being someone who's just really too afraid to allow change to come their way. But the Tower card in the reverse right now, it could be the reason why this Four of Cups is also in the reverse, even though the Tower card is not there to clarify this. It's here to clarify this Eight of Pentacles, which is telling me, yeah, that again, we are talking about work. And that if you were thinking of making a move to another company or completely changing your strategy, like how it is that you actually do your own personal projects, it might not work out in your favor right now. Well, this is confusing as hell, you guys. I have the Page of Cups and her mama. Yes, I'm sorry I've gone silent, honestly. That's just because I'm trying to make sense of this. So with this Page of Cups, it can be talking about really acting on your desires impulsively again. So it's with this Page of Cups being above the Knight of Swords, it's just another way of saying that you might be rushing into things a bit too quickly, because the Knight of Swords, yes, he has a direction and he has a goal in mind. We've already said this. The Page of Cups believes that she can make it a reality. So he's not really thinking too much, ironically, even though it is sword element, and sword elements talk about our mental, cognitive processing of events. But he's not really thinking things very thoroughly, very thoroughly. Whereas the Page of Cups, she's not as active, perhaps, as the Knight of Swords in terms of movement. However, she's really good at getting what she wants through manifestation. So she doesn't actually take a step forward. She just envisions it. She sees it happening in her mind's eye. But the takeaway message from the Page of Cups here in regards to this Knight of Swords is that the Knight of Swords character might be dramatized more if you bring in an element of emotion. Which again makes it more likely that you will encounter problems with people. And you'll have trouble bottling up your feelings. You'll have so much feeling that it's going to overwhelm you. You won't be able to pick up whose ever heart you break, including your own. And I don't need to see the Three of Swords here to say that this could happen. Because something unworthy, something small and petty, might turn into something much larger than that. But as long as you keep yourself in check, try to keep yourself calm and composed. If you start to feel like you're getting bothered, take some time out before your cup is so overflowing with emotions that you end up struggling and won't know how to react, because this is not your element at all. Okay, that's for some of you. For others of you, if you do get into a bit of a tiff with someone, right, then that person could possibly be a water sign. So Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancer for some of you. Okay, and towards the end of the month, with this Four of Cups here causing some confusion as to how you should move forward, expect to receive something that will clarify it with this Eight of Wands here. A message of sorts. Clear communication, finally, clear and effective communication towards the end of the month that will put things into perspective, which is nice. It's a nice change. It sets the record straight, and we need to set the record straight. I really do feel as though this indecisiveness is tied up to work somehow, and that whatever message you receive will also be tied up to work. So check your emails, check your spam, because some messages go unnoticed. They just creep into our spam box. We accidentally delete our spam box in bulk, and then a gem of an opportunity slips between our fingers. Pay attention to cell phone reception, which might be a bit off these days. You might not be receiving as strong of a signal as you'd like. You might not even be aware that you're not receiving signals. So I'm not fond of asking someone to pay attention to their phones a lot, because if anything, I'm trying to encourage people to spend less time on their phones. So I'm saying don't spend too much time on your phone. I'm just saying make sure that you check your phone's reception every now and then, that you don't just ignore your phone for hours on end, leave it on silent and forget that you've left it on silent. Then you receive all these calls that were extremely important, and there's not much you can do about it if you've missed a call. Okay, yeah, you can call a number back, but sometimes you can't call a private number back or a foreign number, and so it's just a word of advice that it's just better to be more attentive this month. So check your email, be attentive to your email, your spam box. If you're going to delete things in bulk, please double check that you're not deleting the wrong messages, because you could be doing that. If you act too rashly, if you act too quickly, if you're not thinking clearly, if you just don't feel so well in general, it happens to all of us, and it happens to the best of us as well. So just pay attention to anything that you might delete accidentally. Pay attention to leaving your phone on silent for hours on end. Having believed that your phone is not on silent, it could be. Low battery, keep a charger, extra charger on hand. Sloppy signals, it's possible. It's all possible. So, yeah. Okay, cool. That's what I have for you guys. Okay, I'll see you in a week, give or take, to come back for your mid-month readings. Yay, I'm excited. Are you? Let me know. Or don't. It's fine. But I appreciate your support. I will leave my contact information down below. If you want to link up, feel free. Give me a thumbs up. leave me a comment if you like. Anyway, it's all optional, of course. So, I love you guys. Take very good care of yourselves. Ciao.